This is my digital nomad update. This is the 5th month of being a digital nomad. As always, it's been exciting, amazing. We've had ups, we've had downs, we've had a lot of different things happen. Hi, I'm Kim Tolson and I'm the traveling therapist. It's my passion to teach therapists how to navigate online private practices and multiple income streams so they can travel the world. I'm a digital nomad with a virtual insurance-based private therapy practice and a multi-six-figure coaching business. I'm obsessed with entrepreneurship and developing tools that can help therapists live an adventurous lifestyle. In this podcast, I will discuss my journey as a digital nomad. I'll chat with other traveling therapists and help you navigate the complexities of running an online insurance-based practice. I'm so glad to have you with me on this journey. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Traveling Therapist Podcast. So this is the end of season 3, and this is my digital nomad update. This is the 5th month of being a digital nomad. As always, it's been exciting, amazing. We've had ups, we've had downs, we've had a lot of different things happen. So I just wanted to give you kind of a recap, answer some questions that I've been getting, tell you about my most recent launch for the Expert's Guide to Becoming a Traveling Therapist, and some other launches I have coming up. A lot of you guys have expressed interest in learning about my multiple income streams. I have 8 of them right now, and there's some ups and downs with that too, trying to figure out how to juggle everything. So I want to give you a little update about that stuff. So I think our last episode of Digital Nomad Update was when I was in Fort Lauderdale. We were staying at the Conrad in Fort Lauderdale, which is a luxury residence. We were staying there as part of a travel club that I belonged to called Inspirato.com, or I should say I belonged to. Part of this journey was doing a year of luxury travel, and I did join this club, Inspirato.com. Go check it out if you haven't already. We signed up. It was a year ago this month, and we've decided actually to not renew it, although we had a lot of fun using it. It had some ups and some downs, some pros and cons, and I just want to tell you a little bit about all of that. So for Inspirato, we signed up for 6 months at a time, and if you do that, they bypass the initial $2,500 fee, and then you have to pay basically $2,500 a month to be a part of the club. But if you do it for, the longer you do it for, the better discount you get. So I think we were paying maybe $2,100 a month when it all was said and done. So we signed up for it. It really is a cool thing if you're not trying to be a digital nomad and live pretty much in these Inspiratos every single month. This club to me, it seems more like, for the person that wants to get a 20-bedroom house in the Caymans around Christmas time and take their entire family for a week, and, that would be like a $70,000 trip. That's more something that I think Inspirato is for. Us trying to live in them was really a problem because it's based on availability, and the closer you get to when you checked out, the less availability there is. So we found ourselves really having to stay in a couple of the same places over and over again that didn't have a lot of people trying to get in there. So for example, the Waldorf Astoria Biltmore in Arizona, and the Conrad in Fort Lauderdale, Park City, Utah, the Montage there, a couple other places, depending on the season, were available, but it's a lot of hopping around and having to travel to these places if you want to do it on a regular basis. Now, if you're not too picky about it, you can every couple of months get a pretty good stay with Inspirato in these really luxury places, but you're basically paying for 3 months of a membership to stay maybe for a week or two somewhere. Now, if you want to go out of the country, there's a lot of places out of the country that you can go to. We couldn't do that for Ken's job, so that was another part of why it was so difficult for us to be able to do Inspirato. So I have been keeping a spreadsheet. I think I've given access in the Traveling Therapist Facebook group, a spreadsheet about just all of the expenses that we would have paid if we had stayed in these luxury properties. So I think it came out to around $90,000 is how much it would have cost without the membership. And I think the total membership was around $28,000 for the whole year is what we ended up spending. We got some perks and some extra things added on because we, did the extended 6-month membership instead of month to month. So all that being said, I still think it's a cool thing if it would work out for what you're trying to do in your life. If you've just got like your family and you want to go to some really cool, nice places, Inspirato still, I think, is a good deal. It just didn't work for us as digital nomads. So we're not renewing. Maybe we will again. I don't know if they change some things, if they get some more availability, we might. But right now, we're just not going to do that. Right now, we're just going to stay in the Airbnbs as we've been doing and paying, we pay around $100 a night to $120 a night. They're not fancy, super fancy Airbnbs. Like you can pay a lot to stay in Airbnbs, but we're just doing like your average 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a kitchen kind of place in these places that we're staying. So that's what we're going to do right now until the unforeseeable future. One thing we really have been talking a lot about is we are getting really addicted to this lifestyle and having just like new places to live and go to every couple of weeks. Initially our plan had been in October, we might go back down to South Florida and just settle down for 6 months and live somewhere. And we're already thinking that's going to seem really boring after what we've been doing. And I actually read an article, or maybe it was a YouTube channel, of a couple that's been doing the digital nomad life for a long time. And they talked about just how comfortable you get with seeing different places and that life can sort of become boring if you're just trying to do one place, like settle down somewhere. So it's sort of like, I don't know what the analogy would be, but it's like we sort of like set a new pleasure threshold in our brains around like, the excitement level or the level of adventure that we're living in our life. And it's like going back to like regular live somewhere in the same place for 6 months, a year, or 2 years, life, seems really boring right now. But who knows? We might get sick of that. So now we're already saying in October that we probably will be back down around the South Florida area, but maybe do a month here, a month there in different places around Florida, just because we like the warm weather and we don't want to be anywhere cold. So that's been an interesting realization for us, really, is just trying to figure out if we can even settle down at this point, because it's just been so much fun. Okay, so let me just update you a little bit. We were at the Conrad, and I don't know if any of you have ever stayed there. It's a really fancy place, but we had a nightmare stay this last time, which kind of sealed the deal on the Inspirato thing. The first room we were in had these really loud noises, like it was like the plumbing. Every time somebody flushed, it was doing this loud hissing noise. And they couldn't figure it out for like 3 or 4 days. So we were just hearing this all day, all night, and it was super annoying. And they actually moved us up to the penthouse. And believe it or not, we got up in this penthouse. It was beautiful. It was like on the 24th floor, I think, of the building overlooking the ocean. The air conditioner was broken. So we got up there, and again, there's a team of maintenance men for 2-3 days while we're up there trying to fix that. So it was kind of a nightmare stay. We were there for 13 days, and we dealt with that probably, I'd say, a total of 6-7 days while we were there. So, it can be a little frustrating if you're trying to stay places and there's just like maintenance or construction going on. So that was super frustrating. Finally, we got back into our original room. The noise had died down a little bit. It was still happening, and we just decided, we're just going to stay here and play this out and just enjoy the last couple of, I guess it was 7 days. Enjoy the last 7 days in this really fancy Inspirato property since it's our last one. So that was the update with the Conrad. That's down there in Fort Lauderdale. If you've never been, Fort Lauderdale is an interesting place. The beach is beautiful. It just really depends on your taste and what you like to do. It's sort of like a lot of bars. It's kind of a party town, in my opinion. There's not much to do otherwise than the beach and the bars, and we don't really do bars. So, that's not somewhere we would generally go unless we were doing the Inspirato property there, which was that place was always available. That's why we went there so many times. So, I'm on the fence about Fort Lauderdale. I don't think I ever really need to go back and hang out there. But there are a lot of cool places down in South Florida that we definitely want to go back to. My last episode, I talked about Hutchinson Island South. That was beautiful. It was secluded. It was like nobody on the beach. It was just really, really perfect there. We loved that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with our travels back down to Florida this winter. So while I was at the Conrad, I did get to meet up with a fellow traveling therapist, Gabby Giuliana Vigliani. I don't know if you guys know her, but I was able to meet up with her and just go down to South Beach and have a girls' day and, shop and eat and drink some champagne and hang out on the beach. So we had a really fun day. That's something I do miss being a digital nomad, is just having girlfriends around all the time, because I just love my girl time. So I was glad to meet up with her. And, I try when I travel places, if there's people I'm close to, like on Facebook or other therapists that I know live in the area, try to meet up with them, at least for a drink or to have a meal and hang out and just have a change of scenery from just Ken and I going places all the time. So anyway, that was super fun. One funny story is we were in the ocean. We both love the ocean, and we were out there, I don't know, probably an hour and a half. And the current, we weren't really paying attention. We were just chit-chatting. The current took us down the beach. And when we got out, we couldn't find our stuff. So it was literally, we put it by a blue umbrella. This is hilarious. But when you look around, there were about 8,000 blue umbrellas. So we literally walked the beach, probably, I don't know, a quarter mile up and down until we finally found our backpack, which really, really freaked us out. Like, Gabby was leaving the next day to go to Costa Rica. I had my phone in the bag with all my credit cards. Just wasn't a smart move probably to leave it on the beach like that, but luckily we did find the bag. So I don't know, take that as a tip. If you get in the ocean and leave your bag somewhere, make sure you have a really good marker to find it, because the current, you don't pay attention when you're having fun and floating down in the ocean. It just takes you away. You don't even realize it sometimes. So little pro tip there. Don't do what I do. Okay, so around those lines, I keep getting a lot of questions about how do I exercise? How do I stay fit while we're traveling? I'm a person that loves group fitness. I love to go to a gym and have friends there and work out and do classes together. So again, talking about my friend Gabby, she teaches an online Zumba class. I don't know if you guys like Zumba. I love Zumba. So every Monday when she's in town and teaching, I hop on and do Zumba with her. It's called Zumba with Gabs on Facebook if you want to go check it out. It's so much fun. And I'm still getting that group exercise component that I love so much. And the other thing we do is Ken has a membership to Planet Fitness. And Planet Fitness, I think it's like $10 a month or something. And he can bring a friend every time. So he brings me with him and I check in as a guest and we exercise. Right now we're doing a workout regimen together that he found. It's like the John Cena workout, which is crazy because that guy's like huge. But we're doing these really intense workouts. It's been fun. We're doing it together. I've only been doing it about 3 weeks. He's been doing it about 7. But, it's something fun to do together and stay fit. And you can pretty much find a Planet Fitness anywhere you go in the United States anyway. Another digital nomad told me that when they're staying in certain places, they'll go join a gym for a couple of weeks or do like a trial where they give you like 1, 2, or 3 workouts for free. I've never done that, but that is a tip I heard. So just putting that out there. In some places, you can just pay a fee and go take a class if you like that sort of exercise. So that's what I do, like to just get physical activity. And also, we swim a lot in the ocean when we're on the beach somewhere, and we always go hiking no matter where we are. So right now we're in Asheville, North Carolina, and we've been doing some hiking here. It's been really cool. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Okay, so this month has been a big month for me because I did launch the Expert's Guide to Becoming a Traveling Therapist. I talked about it in my last Digital Nomad update that, it's been a struggle to hire people to help with the tech and launches and getting all that stuff organized. And I did have to fire my old online business manager for numerous reasons. But the thing I did do is I found somebody else to help me, and she's turned out to be really great. We still have tons of mistakes, but she's not, defensive. She owns her mistakes. We work together to get the problems worked out for all the tech issues that come up, because inevitably a launch for any type of side hustle product you're going to be doing, there's always going to be problems. It's always going to be complicated and hard to manage. So, you just want a person that can go with you and roll with the flow and is going to be there and show up consistently and help you with it. So if you're looking for someone to help with side hustles, let me know, because she's available and she's amazing. I can connect you with her if you need somebody to help you with that stuff. She really knows all the back end tech very well. So that made it easier. But anyway, launching the course has been amazing. We had I think it was about 150 enrollees, which is just super exciting for me. We had the affiliates participating. We did a free, what would you call it? a free extravaganza in the Facebook group is what I was calling it. It was really fun. I got to just talk with you guys and chat and just see what's going on with everybody. And we brought in a lot of the experts that contributed to the course just for about 15 to 20 minutes to answer questions you might have. All of the contributors were amazing, and those of you that bought the course, I hope you're loving it, and I still want to hear how it's going. I'm getting emails almost every day from people who bought the course and are just really enjoying the content, and they're finding it super inspirational and exciting, and it's getting them in gear to become a traveling therapist. So that's been really exciting for me. I'm so glad I put this course out there, even though I had some hiccups and it took me a while to get it out. So anyway, just to say, with the launch, just make sure you're hiring the right team, somebody that's going to be with you around all these tough things, especially during the launch, because there is this real phenomenon that happens during a launch. You open the cart, so to speak, and then most people that are on the wait list that are really excited about it, they buy immediately, so you get all these people wanting to just join immediately. And then there's literally this totally dead period where nobody's buying. You're sending emails. People are unsubscribing from your emails. It's like, oh my gosh, you start to question yourself. You start to question your, everything about yourself. Imposter syndrome, like, oh my God, does this product suck? I put my heart and soul into it. What if people don't like it? All this stuff comes up, all these insecurities, and it's just part of the launch process. I think almost everybody goes through it that launches products. There's just this dead period that happens. And then at the end, when you literally start sending out the emails, okay, we're going to close the cart, we're going to increase the price because there's going to be more contributors the next time around, make sure you get in now, all those emails. It's sort of this, formula that we all follow. And, then people start buying again. And then you're like, oh, okay. Oh, people do like my product. What a relief, and you go through this emotional roller coaster and you're reaching out to all your friends that launch products. And it's just, for emotional support. And it's just a really tough thing to go through. Even though I've launched many, many times, I still go through the same up and down kind of emotional roller coaster through the whole thing. So the cart closed. We closed the course. We actually left it open, but just at a higher price, as we had said in the emails we had sent out. So it's still available. It's just at a higher price now. I'm already adding new content to it, so I'm excited about that. I am recruiting new contributors. If anybody wants to contribute to the next course launch and open, let me know, because I want to have, maybe 20 new modules in there to help people. So let me know what you think about that. If you are somebody that has a lot of great content you want to contribute, or, you have a really important topic that you think would be excellent in the course, let me know, reach out, and we will chat about it. Okay, so with all that being said, my mind is always coming up with new ideas, and I really do have to pace myself. I've just got a very creative mind, and I want to jump and go and just create product after product after product. So another thing about having a good team member is they keep you in check. So this new person I hired, Sakshi, she really keeps me in check. She says, okay, Kim, slow down. We're still working on this other thing that you want me to work on. So that's helping me kind of like reel it in, and I just keep my ideas in one place, and I'm going to slowly roll out more ideas. It's just part of being a creative entrepreneur. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but it's constant. Like, oh, what if I made this, or if I created this for, this audience? So the struggle's real. Seriously. I do have 2 more launches coming out that I just couldn't sit on. So one is, it's part of a multi-state free webinar that myself, Lisa Lovelace, Jenny Schottmiller, and my friend Madeline Padalano all did together. We did a free webinar around multi-state issues. So, taxes, licensing, how to hire multi-state if you run a group practice, how to bill insurance multi-state. So we did do a free webinar, and I'll put the link down here if you guys want to check that out. But Lisa and I decided there's so much need for this, we're going to put an entire course together. So we've already got, I think, like 10 modules in the course, and we're adding a couple more where we're bringing some other experts in to give us a little bit more advice around that. But we're going to be launching that probably mid-August, so that's super exciting. I think it's going to be very helpful for people. It's just really expanding on those 4 areas that we cover in the free webinar. And then I also started a new webinar series for my Bill Like a Boss membership. It's a webinar specialty masterclass topics. So we just did one on Incident to billing. Myself and the two billers of Bill Like a Boss, Annie and Donna, we all met and put the content together, and we're basically selling these standalone webinars for these specialty topics that people ask me about all the time. So we launched the first one. It was super successful, and anyone that's in my Bill Like a Boss membership got it for free. So we were glad to see that like beta launch go really well. So we're going to start offering these specialty masterclass webinars every couple of months. The next one is going to be September 1st, and it's going to be on secondary billing. So secondary insurance billing is, when your client comes to you and they have two insurance plans, how do you bill that? A lot of people don't know. It's really complicated. So we're going to do a masterclass on that September 1st at 11. If you want to come, mark your calendar. I will put the link in here later. So those are just some of the ideas I've got going on, some more launches that are going to be coming up. And I share all this just because part of the Expert's Guide to Becoming Traveling Therapist is about deciding if you want to have some more income streams. These income streams, I can work on them anytime. I can work on them late at night. I can work on them in the car when we're traveling to our next place. It's not dependent on that one-to-one model, that face-to-face model with clients. So for those of you that are listening, if you want to be a traveling therapist, I would really suggest thinking about multiple income streams and what you want to do with that. If there's just one other thing you could put out there that could bring in some income so you're not just like stuck with 30 clients a week and having to just, spend your whole day seeing clients instead of traveling and exploring these cool destinations that you're going to. So let me know if you have more questions about that. And those of you that are already in the Expert's Guide to Becoming Traveling Therapist, I put a whole module in there around how to get started with multiple income streams. So that should get you started if that's something you want to do. I feel pretty strongly about having a diversified income, because you never know when clients might not be showing up, or, insurance stops paying for telehealth. There's all these things out there that could disrupt our income streams that way. So anyway, off my soapbox about that, but just wanted to mention what's going on as far as my other income streams. That's really been my focus this last month. I think I saw maybe, I don't know, I think I had 10 client sessions in the last month. So that gave me a lot of time to create and manage dealing with this launch that I had going on. Okay, so let's see. So right now, where are we? We are in Asheville, North Carolina. We came here for 2 weeks. I was really excited to come here. I have never been. I've heard great things about Asheville. So we ended up getting a little farmhouse outside of Asheville. It's called Weaverville is where we're staying. And this Airbnb is so cute. The back porch overlooks a farm with a bunch of cows and miniature donkeys. And it's great. I've just spent a ton of time out on that porch, just working and just really taking in nature. It's got a beautiful view of the mountains. If you are on my TikTok, I've put some TikToks up about the mountains and sort of a day in the life in Asheville while we've been here. It's been really fun. So some things we've done is, of course, we visited the Biltmore Estate. If you don't know about that, that's one of the main attractions here in Asheville. It's this house. It was built in 1889. I think it took like 10 years to build it. It has 250 rooms, including 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms, 65 fireplaces, and 3 kitchens. And then it has 8,000 acres of gardens and walking trails and bike paths. It's just beautiful there. So we went for a day. I think we probably could have spent 3 days there just walking around. And maybe if we ever come back, maybe we'll just stay on the property. They do have, rooms you can stay in, like hotel rooms nearby, and really explore the property. There's a whole other section with a winery and shops and stuff. We didn't even have time to go down there. And we bought the tickets. It was like a day ticket. So it was $116 per person to go into the house, have a tour, and then just like roam the grounds if you want to. They also have annual passes, I've heard, that you can get if you're close to the area. Obviously we wouldn't do that because we're not here, but I did talk to a few people that have that because they like to go bike riding over there and hiking and just take in the gardens everywhere. So it's really pretty. I do recommend it if you get to Asheville and want to check it out. What else do we do? There's an area called the River Arts District. It's down just by the river. My dad has high school friends that live here in Asheville, and they're avid bike riders. And every time we get a chance or we're in the same area they're in, we always go bike riding with them. So they had some bikes, some extra bikes, and they took us, I think it was about 10-mile bike ride around the River Arts District. There's like this trail that goes all the way around the river. So we did that and then came back and just took in some of the sites down there. There's a lot of studios and artist galleries. We didn't have a lot of time that day, but I did go back myself because I like that sort of thing. Ken could take it or leave it, so I do things like this by myself a lot. I just got up in the morning and went down and just walked through all the studios and just checked out the different artists. It was really fun. There's a lot of unique art there if you're into collecting art. Obviously, as a digital nomad, I couldn't buy anything because I have nowhere to put it, but it was fun to just check out the art. So that was a neat area down there. What else have we done while we're in Asheville? We went hiking. There's a hiking trail it's close to Hot Springs, North Carolina, and it's called the Laurel Mountain River Hike. So we went there. It's about a 7-mile round trip. We made it about, I don't know, 2.5 in, and it started pouring down rain, like pouring. So we were totally drenched, even though it was under trees, and turned around and came back out. So that was turned out to be about a 4-mile hike, and we were soaked, but it was gorgeous. It went around, I guess that's the Laurel River. So pretty. There were people down on the rocks swimming. It was just really gorgeous. So if you get a chance, I'd recommend going over there. Supposedly, the hot springs area, they have hot springs hot tubs built into the mountain that you can rent, and you can go use these hot tubs, and they're like spring fed. We didn't get to do that. We just didn't have time, and it's really hot actually now, so we wouldn't have done that. But that's something I think if I were here in the fall or winter, I would definitely do because it's so pretty over there. So that's just another recommendation. Another thing I did while I was in Asheville was I went to a physical therapist. So part of being a digital nomad, it's kind of hard to schedule medical care because you're just going week to week. You don't know where you're going to be. A lot of places you call, they're like a month out for appointments. So there's a lot of planning involved with that. But I do have this shoulder that always bothers me. It has for years and years and years. And Ken got a Facebook ad for this Wild Hawk physical therapy that said, "Do you have shoulder pain? Come in, we'll give you an assessment and tell you what's wrong." So I went and did that. It was great. He did micro needling on my shoulder. It actually helped. He gave me some exercises, so I was glad to do that. And just throwing that in, if you're in Asheville and you need physical therapy, Wild Hawk physical therapy is great. He's a really good guy. But you kind of have to be creative, I guess, as a digital nomad on the road with your health care and, just scheduling appointments. So that was one where they were just trying to get people in, and I took advantage of it. So that's a way to manage it if you need to. I know we'll be in South Florida in October, so I've scheduled a couple of medical appointments down there already, like a mammogram and, just a couple other appointments that to keep up with my physical health. So I have scheduled those way in advance, and hopefully we'll be in the right place at the right time. So that's pretty much what all went on in Asheville. We did go to a number of delicious restaurants that had full gluten-free menus. As some of you might remember, I have celiac disease. So we have to eat gluten free, but we found about 5 or 6 places that have been so good. Early Girl Cafe, I think was the name of one of them. Another one was Strada Italiano. We went to a place called Rhubarb, which wasn't that great, really, in my opinion. We're going to go to a place called Positano before we leave. And there's a couple other places. Where else did I go? Oh, I went to a place called Biscuit Head. They have gluten-free biscuits, and that was fantastic. So if you're gluten-free and you're in Asheville, check out some of those places. I do use my Find Me Gluten-Free app on my phone, and that really saves me most of the time when I'm traveling to different cities where I just don't know where to go eat. It's a really good resource. And let me think, there anything else happened in Asheville? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So we did go out to dinner one night, and after that, we decided we would walk down to the river, which was about a mile from where we were, because we really haven't checked out all of Asheville. So that night we thought we'd just like walk and just check out the town. So we got down to the River Arts District, like all the way downhill. And we got down there, and all of a sudden it's like these storm clouds are rolling in. We're getting alerts on our phone, like at the weather app alert saying, severe weather alert happening. And we're like, oh my God. So all of a sudden it just starts pouring. and Lightening, and we're literally under a bridge just down in the River Arts District that we had no cover. We just were like hiding under this bridge. So I'm like, oh my God, let's call an Uber. Our car's only a mile and a half away, really. So I call an Uber and it says 23 minutes to get an Uber. And I'm like, oh my God. At this point, we're like starting to get wet. It's cold outside. It's like 9:30 at night. So, we're waiting. About 2 minutes before the Uber is supposed to get there, they cancel the ride. So we're like, oh my God. At this point, we're irritable. We're yelling at each other. My phone has like 5% left on the charge. And then, so we're like, all right, let's try Lyft. So we try Lyft. Same thing happens. They say they're coming, and then there's nothing. So I'm messaging the guy. He didn't cancel the ride. He just wasn't showing up. It was like he was parked somewhere. So 10 minutes later, he messages and says he's not coming to get us until it stops raining, and we're just going to have to stay there. So I was like, oh my God. So I looked up a local taxi company, and I'm sharing all this just in case you ever get stuck somehow like this. I don't even think about local taxi companies, but I looked one up, and this guy said, yeah, we'll come get you right now. Thank God. So the guy came and got us and took us to our car. And I'm like, okay, here's my credit card. He's like, we don't take credit cards. We only take cash. I'm like, oh my God. Of course, who has cash these days on them? I don't. Maybe I need to start having like a 20 on me. But anyway, so the guy has to then drive us to a hotel where I can get access to an ATM. And then I have to pay him in cash to take us back to our car. So that was a little bit of a nightmare. I don't know. Those of you in Asheville, if you're listening to this, is it hard to get an Uber? I don't know. That was like one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Most places, it's pretty easy to get an Uber. The only other time we had trouble with that was when we were in Utah at Deer Mountain Valley at the Montage, like on top of this huge hill, like the cabs just wouldn't come get you. So we had to take a bus down to Park City and then get an Uber from there. So, that's a real thing. If you're out traveling, you don't have a vehicle with you, it might be hard to get transportation sometimes. But just a tip, remember that, there might be a local cab company that'll come pick you up. So anyway, that's my digital nomad update. I hope that helps some of you guys if you're thinking about it, or, if you're out there already. I hope some of these tips or experiences I've been through will help you along the way. And our next adventure, we're leaving here on Thursday and we're headed to Lynchburg, Virginia. And that is near Amherst, and that's where Ken's dad lives. So we're going to go stay there for a week. I really don't know anything about Lynchburg. I have no idea what there is to do. I did message a friend of mine who gave me some tips. She grew up there. So we're going to check out Lynchburg. We're going to see Ken's dad. Then we're headed to Williamsburg, where my dad lives. We're going to stay with him for a couple days and hang out because I haven't seen him for a long time. My sisters are going to come. My nephews. I'm so excited just to have I think we're going to be there 4 days of family time and hanging out. I'm really excited about that. And then we're going to hang out in Richmond for a couple days, see Ken's mom and sister. And then we're headed up the East Coast to... We don't even know where exactly. We're definitely going to Maine. We're going to go to Portland, hopefully Bar Harbor. I really want to see Acadia, the national park up there. I want to go to Niagara Falls. We want to go to Vermont. So we're just going to head up that way and just see where the rest of the summer takes us. We're just going to check all that out. Maybe the Finger Lakes in New York. I've heard that's beautiful. So that's our next part of the journey. So I'll be back in about a month to update you and let you know what's going on with all that. So thanks for listening. I hope you're continuing to find this podcast helpful and interesting to your journey. If you have any questions or thoughts, if you want to be a guest, let me know. And if you like this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps it get seen in the App Store for other people that are wanting to learn about traveling as a therapist. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Traveling Therapist podcast. For show notes, links, and downloads, head over to thetravelingtherapist.com, where you'll be able to learn more about my journey, the courses I've created for you, and other exciting resources to make your dreams become a reality. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your traveling therapist friends, subscribe to the podcast, and if you love this episode, please leave a review.